Welcome to the Immaculate Heart of Mary National Homeschool and Parent Conference. This conference was recorded at the Hilton Washington Dulles Hotel on Friday, June 10th and Saturday, June 11th, 2011. And now, Homeschooling Through Hardship with Mrs. Terry Arnold.
Good afternoon. This is the sleepy time of the day, so I will do my best not to bore you and keep you awake, and we can all have dinner together. That'd be fun. Now, I'm going to try to do my best to slow down when I talk. I am a Southerner, but I was raised by a Yankee aunt, so I get going kind of fast sometimes. But this talk is going to be an interesting one because it's really stepping outside my comfort zone, and it was interesting to me to speak to some of you before this talk to hear what you might expect. So I hope that what I give you, even though it may not be what you expect or what you expect, is benefit from you, and I'm really looking forward to your feedback because Seton especially asked me to write this talk. Bear with me, I'm getting over sore throat. So that being said, when I was first asked to write this talk, and I'm going to check my notes more because I haven't actually given this in public. So like I said, I'm really looking forward to your feedback. I was really hesitant. It was a challenge of a topic that I'm not sure I was able to have it come off as not either as a pity party or as an all-about-me talk. I'm someone who really views myself as tough. I'm a survivor. I'm strong. I've been through a lot in my lifetime. And so to be vulnerable and put myself in a place of what I view of weakness or viewed it differently than that was really, really uncomfortable for me. That vulnerable place, again, I'm outside my comfort zone. But I feel like God put me here, and He put me here on purpose. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to what you think of what I have to say. Discussing my faith has never been something uncomfortable for me. I've always been very grateful. I was not raised in a strong Catholic family, married a convert, but when I was 19 years old, I ran to the nearest Catholic church and begged for my first communion and confirmation because I always loved the church. There was a huge interruption in my family when I was a very young child on that, and I could not wait to be old enough to be there. That's always been a lot to me, and I've always been very vocal about that. But I've always, like I said, the other parts of my life, or the other parts of my experiences, that was different, where I kept more private. So this is going to be a more of a testimony, shall we say. And it's going to be about hardship. And there's all kinds of hardship that some of the people from Immaculate Heart of Mary have known about my life and said, you know what, I think if you share that, it will help people get through some of the hardships in their life. So I'm going to tell you some different little stories, basically, of things that have happened. And some are internal, some are external, and it's going to all wrap up, hopefully, in something you find beneficial for you, because these will definitely not be your life experiences, I hope. And so I hope you listen with your heart as well as your head, and at the end of it, you tell me if I was successful in my mission. And I call the first part of this Laura. One spring day many years ago, my children were at the museum for a full day of fun activities. Most homeschooling mommies in those days didn't have cell phones. It's pretty easy to get out of pocket for a whole day, which personally is something I really miss. I don't know about you guys, but I love that freedom. When we arrived home that night about dinner time, my answering machine was full of messages. Almost all of them were from my sister. The first one said, Terry, they're reporting on the news there's a child missing, a little girl about 12 years old, and she's from your town. A few more calls. I was hoping I would have heard from you by now. Where are you? A few more impatient hang-ups. A few more, call me. Where are you? Call me. Call me. And the intensity is growing. The very last message was her screaming into the phone. They're saying she's from Friendswood. They're saying she's homeschooled. They're saying she's a ballerina. Where are you? The panic was not veiled in her voice anymore. I had a daughter about that age who was a ballerina, and she was homeschooled. And my sister was terrified that my daughter was the one that was missing. Laura Kate Smither was a homeschool ballerina in my small town, and she was taken that day by a very evil man, never to return, but I didn't know that yet. All I knew is I couldn't sleep that night, waiting to get to go to the park where they had said on the news that they would have teams go out to walk the neighborhood where she was last seen, near her house. I was absolutely terrified. I could not wait to be at the park. I couldn't sleep all night. I kept looking for the sunrise. Finally, it was light enough for me to go out there, and I was standing in the darkness alone, and I was terrified. It was cold. My mind was racing, and like I said, I felt so alone. And I realized as the sun was starting to come up, all around me were people quietly waiting to go look for a little girl that we had never met. And I was never alone. There was a lot of us there who cared. For 21